Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on, link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
From Colonel Sam Smith Park on the campus of Humber College in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is Day 8 of the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Apps. It's semi-final day on the men's side of the bracket, and before all of that happens, we have what should be a very intriguing match. It is the 5th place match as Los Jaguares de Colombia take on Le Coq de la France, and the two non-English speaking clubs of this tournament, but it should be a lot of fun. Good day, everyone. I'm Brian Barish. David Smith joins me in the commentary position. David, it's a great day if you're a waterfowl. But if you're a human, it's good football weather.
Well, during warm-up, we had about 50 humans and about 60 seagulls on the field. So it's been a wet one. I think the rain's kind of petered off now, but it's a wet field out there, I think.
These two teams, of course, going through the group stages as we take a look at the Vision Glass Toronto standings. As you can see, France a bit unlucky because of the format. Remembering each of the teams played cross group, but the standings are taking in group. So even though France has a better record than Canada does, they are out of the semifinals, and they are playing in this 5th place game against Colombia. We've got some standout players on both sides, and David's going to take a look at them as we take a look at our Payable Apps players to watch.
Andres Valderrama for Colombia. He is a forward from the Bogota Bulldogs. And Pierre Bosquer for the French team will be the key players to watch in this game.
And as we take a look at the either live keys to the game for Colombia, the key is work on their structure. Don't give away any easy free kicks, because they've been doing that in the first couple of games, and then celebrate the little wins in their first tournament. For France, they need to get more game time for the newer players. They got 2 more games to go. They need to tidy up on the mistakes, be cleaner, and then set a target for each quarter and then play it from there. We're going to head down to the third member of our commentary team on the boundary line. It's a very good morning to a slightly soggy Peter Holden.
Good morning, Brian. I can tell you that the rain has stopped for the moment, but there was a fair bit of rain overnight. If you just take a look behind me, there is some surface water on the centre of the ground, and as such, umpires have warned the players that they try to soccer off the ground while players' hands are on the ball. They will pay kicking in danger free kicks. We're heading today for a top of 27 degrees, 98% humidity, currently 23 degrees in Toronto.
Thank you so much, Peter. Yeah, it's going to be one of those soupy days, and it's going to have an impact on all 3 games, especially the 2 semifinal games we have coming up a little bit later on. Ireland playing Great Britain, and it'll be the USA and Canada. But for right now, it's Los Jaguares, the Jaguars of Colombia, and the yellow jumpers with the blue and red trim. They're heading towards the visitmississauga.ca end, and you absolutely should visit mississauga.ca with hundreds of must-see experiences, plenty of gorgeous scenery, world-class eats and events. Mississauga is yours to explore, and the Colombians will be hoping to explore that side of the field early and often in this first quarter. Le Coq, the Roosters of France, are in the famous tricolores, the blue tops with the white trim and the red bottoms. We're just waiting here for 1 or 2 last things. And David, you know what? We saw it's the exact same matchup in the 5th place game yesterday. These 2 teams did play each other a little bit earlier on.
Yeah, France came away with the 59-16 victory. So Colombia hoping for a better game here. Alejandro Marin with the bat ahead there for Colombia. The youngest player on the team, one of the youngest players in the tournament, maybe youngest. He's only 20. Ball here towards the wing. Picked up on the run by France. That was Decoux. It kicked towards the French forward end on the ground. Attempted soccer. That didn't work. Colombian defense gets the ball. Kick towards... that's a nice mark. And that kick towards midfield. And that was unable to be marked by Zuleta. Ball on the ground. Ball bouncing around among players there. It's on the ground again. On the ground a lot here early. The wet ground here at Humber College. And there's some splashing, and the umpire says, I'll take the ball. It's all yours, Brian.
And if you've never seen an Aussie rules football before, there's no grips on it. It is a smooth surface, so it's going to be like trying to corral a greased watermelon out there. Turning around with it is check that was Zabala, who just got it away. Going to get picked up by Clement Doku, whose sister Clotilda was were the standout players in the game that these two teams played yesterday on the women's side. This one is sent back, but the man all the way back there and taking that one is Pierre Lachelle. Lachelle goes out the far side. 2 touches and a mark taken by Bonhomme. Bonhomme up the far side, dropped off the fingertips there of Pierre Boscart. Able to find Mendres. Mendres now up on the far side. It's going to roll. It's going to skip. And now it's a one-on-one contest. Ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds in front of Enzo Naibo. And we'll have a boundary throw in. 4 20-minute quarters. We're 2 minutes into the first one. No score here in Toronto.
Just outside of the forward 50 arc for France. Ball now. Lots of kicking around. A lot of players around the ball. That will be another ball up there right on the forward 50 arc for the French. No score here. Just past 2 minutes here in the first quarter.
And I think this has been Colombia. This was Colombia's their best performance so far in this tournament in the opening game.
Kick out by Colombia. Ball bouncing. A little bit too high there for the two players involved. And that again goes over the boundary, just in front of the storage shed and some fans there. Hopefully staying dry over there on the Lake Ontario side of the field.
I was going to say, today's a good day to bring your tent along as the ball comes spinning back in the play. Gets knocked to ground, and 3 Jaguars there, and good deflection, because that would have been probably an easy mark there by Andres Zaleta. And then getting that one forward is Mendres, who sends it and finds a nice mark. Picking that one up is Boucher, who sends that one inside the 50-meter line, inside the 50-meter arc. It's off of hands and tumbles out of bounds. Not a bad situation for France, and they have it inside 50. They have it about 5 meters around from their target.
There will be a boundary throw in, I'll say, deep in the forward area for France. And I believe the ruckman didn't touch that first, so that will be a free kick for Colombia. So they try to clear. Defensive held so far, but that's an intercept mark, and this will come right back into the forward 50 for France. We have a whistle. But here...
Yeah, they were just. I was going to say they were just doing the exclusion zone.
Here's a kick by Aubert off of Colombian hands. Can the defense hold again? There's a good long kick, but that not marked by France. A lot of players around the ball. Sierra's chasing for Colombia. Ball now bouncing towards the French goal. That is Boucher. Ball goes high, and it goes towards, picked up here by Bonhomme. But cleared again, but an intercept mark in the forward line for France.
That was actually a good look by Bonhomme as he went backwards and found Aurélien Richard. And there was some high contact in that. The question is who's going to get the footy, and it will be Nicolas Boucher. The captain, 28 years old, from the Alpha Lions. Once played Aussie rules in Peru for Chile against Colombia back in the day. Good
South American geography lesson right from that, eh?
On airline time. So here he is looking for the first score of the game. It's up on the way. It is fading right, and it is through. And there is the first tally on the Payable app scoreboard. It comes after 5 minutes of play. It's Le Coq de France 1, Los Jaguares de Colombia. No score. Brian Barish alongside David Smith. First of the 3 games we'll have for you today. The semifinals coming up a little bit later on today at 11:45 Eastern. It'll be Great Britain and Ireland, and then the big one at 2 o'clock. Well, they're both big, but the local derby, so to speak, as Canada will play the United States, as this one is taken down. The USA women pipping Canada with a last second behind, 14-13 to get into the final against Ireland on the women's side. Left-footed kick in there, and then dropped and staying with the football. That is Aubert who's going after it. Getting taken down, and then going after it is Naibo. Two players around the football. Watching again is Thomas Lachelle. Sent on the left foot there. And a mark in front. No, wouldn't go 15. Went off a player. That was Bonhomme. And then Colombia will try and clear, and they do through the middle, thankfully for them.
Right in the midfield. Can't mark it. Ball on the ground again. Picked up here by France. He gets tackled. France still getting some handballs away. Kick towards their forward 50. Colombia with some numbers, but it spills out the back. And there's a kick at goal. It's rolling, and it goes across the face. And that'll be another behind. That was Lachelle with the kick, and France goes up 2-0. No goals, but 2 behinds for France in this game. We're 6.5 minutes into this first quarter.
And I think that would have been Naibo who was in front. Who we're just from our angle. I don't know if he was close enough to get a toe on it or he was he hesitated, but he was pretty close. Oh, good bump put in there as the ball is harder in there than 12th grade arithmetic at the moment. As they're picking that one up was Richard once again. Going back now and trying to swat his way through was Lefebvre. And then couple of handballs, and now we're playing some sort of weird volleyball type sport, but the umpire has picked out a free kick, and it will go the way of Tabayu. Tabayu goes to the near side, through hands, picked up by Doku. Doku goes inside the 50-meter arc. Ricochets off a Colombian defender. There is Boucher once again looking for another opportunity. The Colombian player did have possession. The umpire crossed himself like Monsignor. Will have a ball up about 25 meters in front from the France target. Lecoq 2-0 with 12.5 to go in the first term.
I hated trigonometry. France with the kick. Now this is number 17, Boucher, and that's out on the full. So that will be, Colombia should be able to get a little bit out of danger here. Their defense has held pretty well here. They've certainly had to defend a lot here early in the first quarter.
And they've had to defend a lot throughout this tournament. Looking at some of the scores, of course, they lost by, they've had a triple-digit loss to Ireland and a pretty heavy defeat to Great Britain. And as the ball moves along now, here comes France. Going to get picked up and now turning this one back the other direction. And it's going to be marked and taken by Richard, who's had a lot of the football so far, sending this one down the far side now. Going to get picked up by Bonhomme and then soccered off the ground. And then ball goes out of bounds.
And it does go to bounds right in front of the scoreboard on the Lake Ontario side, first side of, and let's talk to Peter on the boundary.
I can officially have our first casualty of the day. The Colombian runner running out there lost his footing on the wet surface and slipped on his Kuiper pass.
Thanks, Pete. And if you're not sure what that means, look up Australian slang on Google, and you'll figure out what that means as the ball goes on the ground once again. And it's going to be a free kick, and it will go the way of the French.
Number 91, Julien Lefebvre, kicks down the line. And there's a good mark. So France gets a mark in the midfield as they go toward, kicks towards their forward 50. And there's another nice mark by Aubert.
Yeah, I thought it might have been Aubert, and then I saw Ford the back of his jumper.
Tough to see numbers, but Frenchman's going to get a kick at goal. Long kick. Does it have the legs? I think it does.
Oh, it does.
There's a goal. What a goal there. Certainly want to see who that is. I believe it's 96.
Lachelle.
It is Lachelle. Big Toto, they call, and that was a big kick. And the first goal of the game for France.
Woof. 1-2-8. For France, no score for Colombia, and that's on the Payable app scoreboard.
I can only kick that far in my dreams. That's a big one.
And then here it is again. I mean, this was a pretty good effort to take a mark. That could be not only a Payable apps mark of the tournament, but also a Payable apps guard of the tournament.
That
is
from 60 meters.
Wow. Well,
look at that.
I mean,
it does bounce, but
listen, you can't tell that on the score sheet. 666. And we have a 666 warning. And again, if you're not familiar with that particular rule, we've got two 50-meter arcs in front of each goal. Each team must have 6 players inside those arcs. And then, of course, 6 players in the middle of the ground. So, going to get picked up, swung to the near side now, going up high. 2 marks and taken, and done so quickly. He's going to play this one on, out to the near side. It's going to spot. Look at him splash through. Doku. Going to play on. This is Doku who sends this one out into the pocket. It'll roll. It'll skip. A nice one-handed pickup in this weather. Didn't go 15. Going to get picked up by Boucher. Goes across into a wide-open goal square. And taking the mark is Pierre Boscart. And Boscart, whose name I definitely recognize from the 2017 International Cup, scored a goal again in the game against the USA. And is a 3-time Premiership winner with the Paris Cockerels. 34 years of age, originally from Lille. Boscart looking for his team's second goal, and he's got it. Goal to Pierre Boscart. And France extends their lead with 8:40 to go unofficially in the first term. It's Le Coq, 2-2-14. Los Jaguares no score.
Nice forward play there by France, and certainly kick straight right in front of goal, and France gets their second here in this matchup.
As we mentioned, David, as we take a look at this again, and textbook kick by Pierre Boscart. You know, again, unlucky because of the tournament format that they missed out on the semifinals. I think they're a good side. And you know what? They're going to play next year. They're going to have the European Championships, 18 aside. And I think any confidence they can get from this tournament against the teams like Ireland and Great Britain, who are pretty dominant, I think would be pretty good.
Well, they're runner-up in just their second go-round in the European Championship, so they've been a quick study here in international footy. So there's Sierra with the ball, but the ball finds the boundary. This will be boundary throw-in just outside the 50-forward arc towards the visitmississauga.ca end, and you should visit Mississauga because Mississauga is yours to discover. Here is the boundary throw-in. Awful lot of hands. There's Alejandro Marin. That goes to Zuleta, and there's the first point in this game for Colombia behind. So that will be 14-1 on the Payable app scoreboard. France plays quickly out, and there's a mark in midfield.
And up on the boundary, on the right wing now, as they go down the line. Let's see how France responds to this. A left-footed kick up high in the air, and it is marked. Just did travel 15 meters. As that one, they look for another pass off of hands. Going after it again is Modet. And now sent back from whence it came up on the bleacher side. That will be filled if it's not too rainy a little bit later on. Slipping on a banana peel and now going all the way back. Chasing after it again is Arias. And the umpire crosses his arms like the Monsignors. We mentioned they visit Mississauga, and I think we all visited Mississauga in different ways. We all went to different restaurants in Mississauga last night. I went back to Streetsville and ate some Hakka food. Hakka is it's a form of Chinese food that's very big around here in Toronto. A lot of restaurants around them. And almost gobbling that one up like a big bowl of noodles was Modet. And in fact, it will be a free kick. That was a little unlucky there by the man in Alejandro Marin, who slipped and unfortunately got called for a trip. These conditions are not great, and it is a little bit more rainy than it was for the final set of women's matches, and that really kind of it was enough to hamper things. So here is a free kick from the center circle. And you notice there are three center circles. We were using two in alternates just to kind of keep the fidelity of the field going. Turning around with that one is Boucher, who sends that one up on the far side. It'll roll, and that's it, because this field is pretty waterlogged. But a good job of soccering himself by Javier Sousa, who now finds himself against the boundary line. Runs about 13 meters, does nicely to kick this one into the middle of the ground and find a target. And just getting a little bit in the back was Damien Marine, who will send this one into the wing.
It goes in, but there's an intercept mark. France plays on. Kick towards the wing, just in front of the scoreboard. They finally slow it down. Kick down the wing, over the intended target. Shade to the line. There's Aubert, picks it up. Aubert kicks it. It's just go. That won't go 15. That won't be a mark. That's a play on, but Corrales didn't know it. And that will be a ball up just outside the French forward 50-meter arc. On the far side of the field, the Lake Ontario side. Ball up. France gets the tip, but the first touch goes to Colombia. Here's a kick. Marine attempts to mark. He can't. That's spoiled. the ball towards the arc, and there's a push in the back. Will be a free kick to France, and
it was tackling without the football, David. That's okay. Boubet has the football now. He goes into the pocket. Little handball back. Looking for Decoux, who sends this one goalward, and it is straight over the goal umpire's hat and right through it almost. And give that one to Clément Decoux, and that will extend their lead. 3-2-20 to Colombia, one behind. And Decoux, we mentioned his sister Clotilde was the only goal kicker yesterday in this fixture on the women's side, and there it is off of one step and right down Broad Street. Decoux, 27 years of age, plays for the Bayonne Toreadors and has played in the last 2 AFL European Championships. As we're underway once again, ball gets knocked down in the middle of the ground. Again, a 19-point lead. 3.5, just under 3.5 to go. Umpire has picked out a high tackle, and it will be a free kick for Colombia. Or check that, against Colombia. It will be a free kick for France. Going back the other way. Now going up the far side and taking the mark and playing on quickly. Now going into that opposite side pocket. And you can see there Aurélien Aubert, who is all sorts of bandaged up around the head. We do have a whistle, and this one will come back for a free kick. That young man not happy with the call. It'll be a free kick to France in the personage of Nicolas Boucher.
Nicolas Boucher kicks towards forward 50. Oh, thought just couldn't take the mark. There was Roar. There's a kick towards goal. There's a high one, and they like it. It's a goal. Kick out of nowhere, and another goal there. Another one for France. Their fourth. As we approach 2 minutes left here in the first quarter. Didn't see who kicked that.
Well, we will in a moment here, and in fact, it was Metier.
Benjamin Mattei of the Wandsworth Demons plays in AFL London in the UK. So he's a defender. So the defender is getting into the action here, and the goal kicking for France.
So what would you call that in soccer? A French international. It's weird to see, not weird, but we do see a fair bit of players from some of these countries playing in different leagues. Think about a couple of the players we know for the Great Britain women's team, for example, Lizzie Toms, who used to play in Austin. Here come the Jaguars. Big kick inside 50, but nobody back. Oh, he finally dropped the potato, and then kicking that one out quickly as Damian Marin was over there to try and, 2 bites and a chomp and spit out the pit. And taking that one there was Bastien Aubert. He goes out to the far side. Went a little too early was the Colombian player. Going to play on toward that far wing. And it's going to be juggled, was not paid as a mark. Going to send this one inside the 50-meter arc once again. France trying to add to their 25-point lead. Push in the back is called. As we take a look at this great mark, there it is. Kept it in front of him, kept the concentration. And that is the mark of a good wing position player. So here is the football. It may be, we'll check that in just a moment. He'll set sail from 45 meters out. The mark got pretty close. Swatted away by Colombia. Once again, Aurélien Aubert going after the football. And the ball tumbles over the boundary line and out of bounds with about 30 seconds, give or take, to go in this first turn.
Love a boundary throw in deep into the front.
We're just marveling at
how much bandaging is that anyway?
I was going to say, if not, I was going to ask how his pyramid accommodations were.
There's a kick at goal, and there'll be another one for France. I believe that's again Lachal.
It's going to be, judging by the looks, actually it's going to be Boucher.
Boucher, excuse me.
So give that one to Boucher, and that is his. We're checking. Here it is again. Yep, it 17. Was off of Boucher, the 17.
Boucher,
that is his first, and that comes right on the stroke of quarter time. So 20 minutes down in this fifth-place game of the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Apps in the men's division. It's Le Coq de la France, 5-2-32. Los Jaguares de Colombia, one behind. And David, one-way traffic. Because some good passages of play for Colombia. They can keep their heads up.
Absolutely. But you saw a couple times they had forward 50 entry and had nobody there to kick it to. So they've really been, it's all about defense, it seems, for Colombia in this game. France, on the other hand, you can see the quality. They scored in several ways. Mark's in front of goal. There was a couple quick kicks, one very long kick. So you can see the quality of this French side. We've mentioned they've been unlucky to be in this fifth-place game and not a semifinal based on the tournament format.
Yeah, despite having a winning record of 2-1. But you know what? They're going to play 2 more games together. They're going to play, and they're not very often you get a chance to play Colombia. A team, as we've said, is in their first hit out in international 18-a-side Aussie rules football. We're going to take this opportunity to step aside. We're going to come right back, however, for the second quarter. You're watching the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Apps live from Toronto.
Great news, sports teams. Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Setup is easy. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Players can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more, streamlining the process for them, all while you stay organized with real-time updates. Registrations, uniforms, races, sponsorship, clinics, coaching, training, and classes. Keep it simple with Payable Forms.
Back here at Humber College, Colonel Sam Smith Park for the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Apps. Your quarter time score in this fifth place game, France leading Colombia 32-1. Let's see what the coaches were talking about. We'll head down to our boundary rider, Peter Holden. Pete, what were they saying?
Thank you very much, Brian. Went across, first of all, to the Colombian huddle to hear from Josh Kennedy, the coach of the Colombian team. He's talking about being smarter. Just don't get the football and bomb away. Think about the targets that you're heading to. They're also worried about their tackling, the half-hearted attempts. They're saying you've got to go right at the body, aim right at the midriff. Make sure you stick those tackles. On the French side of the equation with Jason Quinn, really, really happy with that first quarter there. Keep the positive momentum going. The only thing they're talking about now is cleaning up the game, being smarter with their structures.
Thanks, Pete. Yeah, I think that's what we were seeing as well over here, and should be an interesting next 3 quarters. And yeah, I think both teams, listen, this is a learning experience for both teams. Obviously, you want to try and come away with the win, and but yeah, how they go, it's all about learning the little 1%, learning about the things that are working, and you go back and you ask yourself, what did I do to help the team win today?
Absolutely. Making those right decisions when you have the ball, when you're attacking, when you're defending, positioning. All that's going to be a learning experience for Colombia in this one, and we'll see if they can have a better quarter, a better second quarter than the first.
All right, second quarter about to get underway, and if you start hearing Iran, it's because we have a flock of seagulls in front of us on the wing as a little handball was given, and a little soccer forward by Boucher, who sends this one over into the corner, into the pocket rather, off the foot of Jose Leon. And then going and soccering that one off the ground was Brian Cerna. Off of a couple of hands. There's Valderrama, who has the football. It's now up on the far side where it's marked defensively by France. was a little too close to the mark, almost taken over the top by Alejandro Marin, who was really impressed. He's been probably one of the most athletic players on a team that's pretty athletic to begin with, and the ball goes out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in 40 seconds into the second quarter.
Absolutely. Marin seems to be everywhere. He rocks. Very lanky but athletic. He has good jumping ability. Only 20-year-old, youngest player for Colombia, so I think he has a bright future in footy. France kicks it high towards midfield and juggling. I believe this will be paid. So this will be for Bosquet from the Paris Cockerels. Plays on quickly. Another mark there for France. They're going to have another 450 entry. That was Boucher. That is mark. Here's a kick at goal. High. And that goes a little bit right and will be a behind.
All thought he was Paul McCartney in wings, going to get high, but went right off the foot of Clément Ducou. And it is through for the third behind of the morning for Le Coq. They are 5-3-33. Lead is 32 points. And we are almost 2 minutes gone in this second term. Out to the near side, and an easy peasy lemon squeezy mark out the back. Taken there by Bastien Aubert. Aubert looking into the hot spot, just getting a hand to it now. And then going after it is Lachelle, who kicked that one from somewhere out near Niagara Falls as the ball comes bounding aside. Oh, and that's...
And
wow.
They'll love it. What a kick. And there's another one for France. Boy, they've been good kicking at the big sticks in this one.
I didn't realize they recruited the French Air Force for this one. Another one from that one was from Niagara Falls. I would say that one was probably out from halfway to Ottawa for that one off the boot of Bonhomme, and that extends their lead. Maybe a little bit closer than Lachelle's goal. This one maybe, we're going to say only from about 45 meters out, but just squeezed inside the left goalpost, and umpire Daniel Estes from Chicago, Illinois, just judges it correctly as that one goes inside, as the Seagulls have taken up residence once again on this left wing.
Air traffic control at Pearson Airport might have gotten that on their radar. Ball again being batted forward here by France, picked up by Lachelle, already scored kicked a goal in this game, kicks it a little bit left, and that will be a...
Colombia, middle way.
It's behind.
It is behind, and that will be another one for France.
6-4-40 on the Payable app scoreboard, looking for Sebastian Rebe-Roll from the Anthony Blues, making his debut, and also enjoys playing poker. Who doesn't? This one is sent down the middle of the ground now for Colombia, trying to get something going.
I don't like losing money, so poker's
no,
not great
I don't
for me.
either. I don't either, which is why I never lose. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that good at it. If I was good, I don't know. Well, maybe I'd still be sitting here.
I have no poker face.
No, I have no poker face. And anyway, not everybody goes gaga over poker, as here comes Navaez with the football, or check that. That is only 7. That's Jeffrey Vidal, who sends us one down the middle of the ground. Goes up high off of hands. Leon says the umpire, but it bounces around in the hands of Zuleta. Zuleta trying to move forward, and you see the... this is the MCG right here. My goodness, I don't know that I've ever commentated in 300-plus games in 10 years where we've had a situation where the Seagulls are all about. We're not that far away from the lake, because dropping the ball but not getting paid is Bonhomme, and that one goes into the pocket. One-on-one contest. Good bump in there. Colombia not afraid to hit. As we mentioned, Josh Kennedy was not happy with the half-hearted tackles. They've started to pick things up a little bit through the hands of Modé. And then everybody going down, a couple of players going down mushroom farming. We mentioned the lake. It is, you see when you look at the wide shot, you see the trees in the background. It's probably maybe 500 meters away, Lake Ontario, and the birds have decided they want to come in and eat some grass.
We don't have as many human spectators here today because of the rain, but it's been made up for by the Seagulls. A good bird's eye view of this game, as it were. Here's 31 Bonhomme with the free kick.
Well, it's taken 8 days, but David Smith has got the one-liners down.
Kick towards forward 50 for France.
You've been hanging around us too long.
Probably so. Here's a kick by number 23, Pinto, and they like that one, and that will be the 7th goal for France. Another quick one. France really good at the quick kicks, picking it up, just kicking it, and most of the time it goes through the big sticks.
Could be another Payable Apps goal of the tournament nominee, and that he made it torque and did just land on the boundary line. But Pinto, another goal scorer. He is the player coach of the Bordeaux Bombers, 32 years of age, did play in the 2017 AFL International Cup, also played in the European Championships the last 2 tournaments, and has also played in the Anzac Cup. And that is a match held on Anzac Day every year between a representative French side and an Australian side. And you sit there thinking it's a one-sided contest, but those games are always hard-fought, spirited affairs, and of course done in the name of the Anzacs, which of course is a very solemn and very important initiative in Australia and of course in New Zealand. As the ball gets knocked down, going to get sent forward once again. Colombia trying to answer, still looking for their first goal in the game. They got 2 in the first encounter between the sides, which was in, I believe, round 2 of the matches in the men's pool group. As the ball comes out into the near side, and it's a little handball back, looking there for Thierry. That's Johan Thierry. And we have a whistle, and it will be a free kick, and Colombia moving downfield. So the Jaguars will have a free kick now, and will do so from in between the right wing and right half forward flank positions.
Colombia looking for possession in the forward 50, even when they've been able to get it into the forward 50. They haven't had players there, but there's a lot of players there now. That's off of hands. Can't get the mark. Picked up by the French player. They clear it out to just outside the arc. Aguirre tries to pick it up, but that's held up, and that will be, no, that's a free kick to Colombia. So
another entry inside 50.
Another entry. Let's see if they can actually get a possession within their forward 50. They haven't done that a lot here in this game. We're approaching 11 minutes left here in the second quarter. France leads by 45. That kick is off of French hands, and this will be cleared out by number 4, Rohr. Rohr kicks it down the line, picked up there by, I believe, Marine. Kick towards the forward 50. They tempted Crum. There's a big tackle. And still tackle. Umpire keeps the whistle in the pocket. Picked up by Zabala. Kick further toward. That's a little handball that hits the target, but quick tackle, and France clears.
Out in the middle of the ground now, and it's a one-on-one contest. Little handball going ahead, looking in the direction of Vidal. Free kick picked out by the umpire, and it will be France will have the opportunity. You hear Les Gaulois, the women's team, they're going to reset this as there was a player in the protected zone. Everybody must clear. There's like a little halo around with the contest that nobody from either team can be in, so we'll do it again. Just mentioning Les Gaulois, you can hear them to our left. In fact, you can see them directly across from us shouting Allez les Bleus as this one is sent down, and a nice mark over the top. Going to play on is Doku. Doku stutters his way to 45 and kicks a fantastic goal. They can hit you quick, fast, in a hurry, and Doku has his second. And France are on the 8-4-52 with a 51-point lead. Colombia 1 point. And that's the key. Colombia not able to hit in transition. France 3 kicks, goal.
Wow, like a laser pointer. That was absolutely dead straight. And geez, the kicking here by France in this game has been sublime.
It really has.
Lots of room there, but that's a beautiful kick of the football.
On the run.
On the run. Umpire doesn't have to move, just sees it goes over his head. Beautiful kicking here by France in this game.
And as a goal umpire myself, I like when you don't have to move, as Vidal sends a daisy cutter down. Oh, they're going to have an opportunity here. He got it! Oh my goodness, a golazo by Javier Sousa. Although they are checking Hang on 1 second. They are checking. They're seeing where it hit off of his knee. And I think, now remember, in order for it to be a goal, that could have been. Oh, it is a goal. No, it is a goal. It went off the bottom. Now, we were double checking. Let's see. We're going to see on the replay here. They were just double checking to see what part of the leg it went off of, and it absolutely went off of his shins. That is a Payable Apps goal of the tournament by Javier Sousa, and that was all set up by Jeffrey Vidal winning the play down. We had to double check that, and the rule is it has to go from below the knee. If it's above the knee, it would have been a behind, and I mean, he probably would have let that go, and it would have gone on. But Colombia gets a goal, and a very memorable one. That will definitely be, I think, in the top 5 or so, as this one is turned round, up high, juggle 3 times. Nope, ball hits the ground. And then a wrestling situation. Going after to get it is Rosales, who is had a couple of bumps and bruises in the last game that Colombia played against Ireland.
It'll be a free kick to France in the back.
Yep.
So this will be another kick at goal. A lot less distance than some of the goals they've kicked already. So let's see if Modé can add to their total.
Sounds like it's starting to rain again. Inside our There Live. Somebody There Live tent. And there's another one off the foot of Simon Modé. And he is, by our count, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at least. I may have missed one. 7 goal kickers. And France go to 9, 4, because there's 8.
There's only one multiple goal kicker. Clement Ducou is the only one with 2. So they spread around the love here, the French. But
it's Oak for Winfrey Day. You get a goal. You get a goal. You get a goal. You get a goal. Everybody gets a goal. 9-4-58 on the Payable App scoreboard. 6.5 minutes to go in the second term. Brian Barish alongside David Smith. We got Peter Holden on the boundary line, and of course Patrick McNeil, the 4th member of our broadcast team. You're going to hear him a little bit later on. In fact, I think you're going to hear him in the next game, if I remember the schedule correctly. And of course, you're going to hear him in the USA against Canada game a little bit later on today. As the ball goes back in the middle of the ground, it gets batted around like a batting thing. As things are going to get a little bit more dicey and a little bit more slippery. There is Alejandro Marin, who skitters it forward off the hands of Vidal. And going after this one, it comes out to the near side. Going to get picked up there by Serna. Serna goes into the pocket. 1-on-1 contest, but there for the crumb is Salazar, who sends this one towards the sticks. Is he going to get the bounce? No, it's not going to come back. It's through for a behind. Colombia is up and about. It's now a 50-point lead. Let's head down to the boundary line and Peter Holden.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brian. Rain is starting to come down again here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park. According to the weather forecast, it could set until about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Yeah, that's going to affect more. It's going to affect the rest of this game, and then with an 11:45 start, it's going to affect that first semifinal between Great Britain and Ireland that we'll have for you right here. Picking that one up is Aurelien Aubert. He goes and sends this one out. Here is Doku, and Doku has some room to maneuver. He's going to put the ball to the ground. Looks for a centering ball high in the air. A 2-on-1 contest. Good job to stay in front of that was Rosales, and then going and trying to pick that one up off the ground. Little centering kick, and it went off the defensive player. That was off the foot of Nicolas Boucher. Hit the defensive player and the post, and it's through for a behind. 5 to go, second term. 59-8 is the score. 51-point lead on the Payable App scoreboard.
Colombia will try to clear it out of their defensive end. They visit Mississauga.can. With hundreds of must-see experiences, plenty of gorgeous scenery, world-class eats and events, Mississauga is yours to explore. Kicks it just outside the 50-meter arc, but France picks it up. There's the whistle. It's considered a throw, and there is a free kick to Colombia. So they'll relieve the pressure a little bit in their defensive end.
50-meter penalty.
Over the mark, 50-meter arc. So that will give Colombia a little bit of territory here as they march towards their end of the ground, the Toronto end of the ground. Colombia with only 1 goal, 2 behinds in this game. France 9 goals, 5 behinds, 59 points on the Payable App scoreboard. Here comes the kick. Long, straight kick. And, marked just off the hands and then cleaned up here by France. Deep in the pocket. And there's a mark by 23, Marco Pinto. And here's another one to Bonhomme. Bonhomme down the line. Bounces on, picked up by Rosales, or doesn't get picked up and goes over the boundary line. And this will be
Boundary throwing.
A boundary throw-in.
Yeah, you see the bandage on Daniel Rosales, got a cut in the last game against Ireland, and also had an arm injury too. So he was a frequent visitor to the physio tent to our right as Boucher picks up the football. Now going to get cleared out off of a defender there, and then comes out to the near side. Going to be a good contest. Bosgard is going to win. Swings around and looks for the handball. Tried to get a little bit more berries on that one, and the ball in fact goes out of bounds, and we'll have the boundary throw in with 3 minutes to go. Once again, glad to have your company here at Humber College, Colonel Sam Smith Park. As the rain's starting to pick up in intensity, and Peter Holden finding some shelter underneath with us as the ball goes inside. It's going to get picked up now. Going to get kicked on into the middle of the ground, and it'd be interesting to see if it starts getting into dog urinating off a flat rock situation as a handball back, and he was taken down. He is pinged. He has gotten taken down. Here's Jeffrey Vidal with the football. Vice captain, plays for the Antioquia Lions. Plays this one out the far side, going into the pocket, going after it. Going to go and pick that one up quickly. There was Damian Marine, has the football. Check that. That was Sousa, who has the goal. And that definitely, as we said, we're looking for the Payable Apps goal of the tournament. And that one will definitely be in there as the rain picks up once again, and 2 minutes to go here until halftime.
Yeah. There's a kick from the defensive end for France. On the line, it bounces. Picked up by France. Nice pickup given the conditions. Kick towards, I believe that's Lachelle. And he was dealt with unfairly and will get a free kick. Kick towards the line. Aubert. Here's a long kick. Sorry, just laughing because we just had a big bunch of water fall in front of us. It is raining hard right now. Tough conditions for these players. Kicked high. It goes left. Is it marked or did it go through? No, it went through. It's a behind. And that will be the 60th point for France here in this game as we're approaching 1 minute left here in the first half of this French-Colombian matchup.
Fifth place game of the men's division, 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup. Almost taking the mark was Alejandro Marin. He stays with the football. Let's pick up the binoculars now and tell you that going after the football, it is really coming down now. And we have a free kick. It will go the way of France. They didn't get the ball back straight away, and he wanted a 50-meter penalty and didn't get it. This is Julien Lefebvre who will send this one in, top of the arc, and the mark is taken by Lachelle. Lachelle has kicked one from past this distance already.
He can kick this if he wants it, for sure, though the rain certainly won't make it easy.
Yeah, he's got the berries, and a 50-meter penalty has been given, and it looks like that was Miguel Franco who came over the mark, so we won't have to worry about the distance. All he has to do is kick it straight. So Lachelle has one of the 9 already. And the question is...
disappointed with that. I wanted to see another big kick.
Yeah, I wanted to see him bomb one.
A little bit more difficult with the rain as it's going now.
It's on the way. This will count after the siren. It's good. Second goal for Lachelle, and the 10th for France. They go to 10-6. Clickety-click. That's 66. And Colombia 1-2-8. We'll run through the goal quickers very quickly. Doku and Lachelle with 2. Mete, Boscart, Modi, Boucher, Pinto, and Bonhomme all have 1. We're going to step aside and come right back and resume our halftime activities from a wet Humber College. You're watching the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup thanks to Payable Apps.
AFL has huge potential, not only in Colombia, but also Latin America. And Orica is really excited to be part of that story.
Los lazos humanos entre Colombia y Australia son de una importancia altísima. Para ambos países el deporte es algo muy importante en la vida. Tenemos las culturas muy similares en este sentido, con los valores de equidad de género, de participación. En la cancha todos somos iguales.
Mi vida siempre se basó en el tema del deporte, porque el deporte a mí me salvó de todo aspecto posible, que normalmente en la juventud no. El tema de alcohol, de vicios y demás, a mí llegó a mi vida fue el deporte. En el 2019 tuve un accidente de tránsito donde las oportunidades de volver a tocar una cancha eran nulas. Aún los médicos me dicen, tú cero deporte, cero correr, jugar, saltar, deportes de contacto. Siento que mi familia en esa parte forma un pilar importantísimo. Mi mamá estuvo conmigo y me cuidó como nadie lo hizo, porque era la que tenía y se aguantaba la de mamá, no quiero a nadie en este momento.
AFL Colombia has the potential to have long-lasting impacts in the communities. Entonces, Alejandro, Oscar y Estefanía, we chose these players as the future leaders because they showed throughout the selection process and throughout their time in the organisation that they are future leaders and they are really focused on developing others.
O sea, la idea es crecer aún más, estar en un nivel alto para así poder llegar y enseñarle a todos a mis compañeros.
Para mí la beca es una oportunidad enorme, una oportunidad que no se le presenta a cualquiera, una oportunidad que ya tenía mi nombre destinado en ello. Voy a vivir siempre agradecida con este deporte porque me dio una luz. Porque yo vivía mi vida, después del accidente, vivía mi vida, pero no era feliz. Cuando conocí el deporte y empecé a jugar de nuevo, y vida está de testigo, mi vida cambió.
That's the culmination of a lot of work for a lot of people. A heap of people have contributed to this, and it's great to see them living out their dreams, and you know, we're all very excited for them, and it's going to be great.
Great news, sports teams. Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Setup is easy. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Players can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more, streamlining the process for them, all while you stay organized with real-time updates. Registrations, uniforms, races, sponsorship, clinics, coaching, training, and classes. Keep it simple with Payable Forms.
Aussie Rules the World podcast is a podcast dedicated to bringing our listeners information from international Aussie rules, from news, reports, reviews, and interviews from people dedicated to building Aussie rules internationally. During the Transatlantic Cup, World Footy Shorts will be bringing you daily updates from what's happened from the games and around the event. And this is Aussie Rules the World podcast.
And after a brief shower, we're back here for the second half of play in our halftime festivities of the fifth place game, France leading Colombia 66-8. Let's go down to Peter Holden, who has a halftime guest.
Thank you very much, Brian. I got with me the International Development Manager at the AFL in Simon Highfield. And Simon, I know you're based in Melbourne. We've turned on a traditional Melbourne welcome for you.
Yeah, we're on the other side of the world, and it looks like Melbourne out there, except the fact that we've got two amazing international teams out here playing footy, and the French girls on the other side of the field dancing in the rain, which is great.
For some that don't know the story, we normally used to have an International Cup every 3 years. The latest edition was meant to be held in 2020 in Maroochydore, Queensland, Australia. Unfortunately, Simon, a little thing called COVID came along and threw the world upside down. So what has the path been like since then to get us back to international football?
Yeah, it's been 4 years, but it's been a very, very long 4 years, Peter. What we can say is international footy is back. So we've got 3 regional events. We've put the flag back in the ground. International football is back. We've got the Transatlantic Cup here in Toronto, Canada, which is the first of 3 events. Thankfully, we've got 12 amazing teams here representing international footy, putting on a good show. And yeah, as I said, this is going to be the first of 3 events between now and the end of the year. We'll be in Maroochydore for the Pacific Cup, so that'll have teams from across the Pacific attending. And then the last one of the year is going to be in December in Vietnam, and that's going to be the Asia Cup. Really excited about that one. We'll have nearly 20 teams from across Asia coming down. And I guess for us, we're just happy to see international football return.
Before I go into a little bit of depth of those tournaments, just quickly, we've seen the international debut for France on the women's side and 18-a-side, and Colombia on both the men's and the women's side, both playing 18-a-side football. How have you seen their debut?
It's been awesome. And I think everyone that's been down here in Etobicoke in Toronto can definitely say that the flavour, the vibrancy that those 3 teams have added to the event is really, really positive. And, you know, despite COVID putting a bit of a setback on international footy, we're almost back stronger than we were before. And I think the Asia Cup is going to be testament to that too. We're going to see at least 10 teams make their international debut at the Asia Cup. So, you know, COVID happened, but we're through that now, and international footy is back stronger than ever.
And do we know exactly what city that will be in Vietnam in December, in case some people are planning a bit of a footy off-season trip?
Definitely get down to that. So that'll be in Ho Chi Minh City. It'll be a little complex called the Tan Long Sports Centre, just outside of Ho Chi Minh City. So yeah, if you're going to be in the region, get down there.
And just quickly again, the date for the Pacific Cup, because if people are excited by seeing the likes of Ireland and Great Britain, I think they're going to be blown away when they see the likes of PNG in New Zealand.
Yeah, PNG New Zealand certainly are the powerhouses. That'll be from the 14th to the 22nd of November in Maroochydore. So the Maroochydore Sports Complex will host that one. So, yeah, international footy is back, and we're about to see the second half of this one as well.
Thank you very much for your time, Simon. Great to have you here in Toronto. And while you're here, don't forget to visit Mississauga.ca.
Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Simon. And, yeah, having worked with Simon the last couple of years in his role and, of course, my role of the USAFL, not too many people dedicated to around as he is dedicated to growing Aussie Rules football as Simon, as we are getting set for the second half of this one. Brian Barish back here with David Smith, and the second half, France leading by 58 points. Colombia, I think, played pretty well in that second quarter, getting the goal, and a pretty awesome goal off the foot of Javier Souza. And the umpire is ready, and so are we. Third quarter about to get underway here in this fifth place game. And to get you underway, here's David Smith.
Lang and Alejandro Marine in the rock. That ball goes to the French. Held up, and the umpire will say the ball's mine. French leading by 68-8 here early in the second half. Off French hands. Colombia, though, gets control. There's a nice turning kick towards, but that's Yermio can't pick it up, and Rebeo does. France now. Kick towards the wing, picked up by Ducou, kicked along the line, and there's a nice mark there by Bonhomme. And France again with control.
Logan Bonhomme sends this one inside 50. Over the top, out the back, and chasing after it is Boubet. Boubet kicks it to his own advantage, picks this one up. If he can get a clean hand on it, he can't. He has some help there off the right foot by Boucher as this one bops down. Now going after it, and then taking him down with the right hand. Once he did get possession of it, that was awfully, awfully close, but a good call by our umpire. And, of course, our thanks to all of our umpires who have come from literally all over the place. Some from here in Canada, some from down in the USA. Went for a flying outside the boot kick. Boucher, rough. Wow, and Boucher copped some head contact there. And he is slow to get up. He is, however, getting up, and so is Rosales, and that's good to see. Boucher, however, will get the free kick. Already has a goal to his name. 8 different boots have scored the goals for Le Coq de la France. They have 10 goals. And oddly enough, 10-6-66, the Battle of Hastings, something like that. Kick is up on the way. It is dead. Center, perfect. Second goal of the game for Nicolas Boucher, and the 11th for France. They go to 11-6-72 on the Payable app scoreboard. The lead is 64 points over Columbus, 1-8. In my head, I've been calling them Collingwood, Colorado, Columbus.
You said Columbus. Colombia, it starts with a, Anyway.
It is. And it's funny because Josh Kennedy is wearing a hat that says Colombia, not Columbia, with an O and not a U.
Yes.
Which is
different spelling from the District of Columbia.
And Columbia College. And I guess this used to be called, the U.S. used to be called Columbia. There was the original national anthem was called Columbia the Brave or something like that, as we're underway once again.
Brian Barish with the historic learnings here at Humber College. Kick towards the wing by France. That's a nice mark there by Pinto. Another mark there along the wing. France showing their class here. Number 20 can't get the mark, but France now with the kick towards goal. No, off hands.
Oh.
Nobody can mark it. Just an emergency kick by Colombia. Oh, and there's a slip at the key moment was Boubet. And this is a free kick to Colombia. So they'll be able to get out of danger a little bit here. It's going to be 29. Anderson, Damien Marine. I believe one of 3 Marines on this team. There's an intercept, not a mark, but certainly gains control by France. And big tackle on the far side of the field. And that ball goes over for a boundary throw-in.
You mentioned Damien Marine. He works with wild and farm animals, and it's a good thing because umpire Kevin Murray, who is one of the many umpires who's working this tournament, just came over and said that they were trying to chase away a family of ducks on that boundary line. We have ducks, we have geese, we have all sorts of stuff, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some tiny fish floating around in some of those impromptu ponds as the ball is marked up on that far side. 72-8 the score. 5th place game. Of course, we have the 2 semifinals coming up. Ireland and Great Britain happening at 11:45 Eastern Time, so a little more than an hour away. And then at 2 o'clock, we have the border battle between the USA and Canada. And see if it's like this game not going to form in the women's side yesterday as France fell to Colombia 18-8 in a much better game by Les Gauloises. We have a French player down, and we'll try and keep an eye on that for you as he's rolling around with his head out to the near side. Going to get picked up by just staying in play there by Boubet and then sliding into second base, and we'll have a boundary throw in as it was off the foot. It was
Aurélien Richard that's down, but he's up and looks to be okay. So in the pocket. Ball just outside the 50-meter arc. France. There's a kick by Boucher. It's off hands and a behind for France. So nice defensive play there by.
No. It looked like it was high contact there. It looked like a good play, but it was Ribeiro who was in front. And you can see the players remonstrating there, and Ribeiro has put it through the goal, I believe. No, they've moved him in front because, okay, that's a goal. That's all you need to know. It takes them on to, is that 12-7? It's 12-6, beg your pardon. So Ribeiro is another goal scorer. That's the 9th goal of the game. So 12-6-78 is the score to 1-8. And a goal by Ribeiro. I think what happened there, we'll just explain what happened. There were two players, of course, going after the contest. We weren't sure who the fullback was. And now there's a free kick that's been awarded for 5 in the square. They'll play on is Timothy Lang. Goes out to the far side. So 78-8. Going to get picked up by Mo Day. Going to turn around. Going in. Going back. Good job by Rosales, who was held up. He wanted a free kick, and he's not going to get it. In fact, he's given it away. And here comes another opportunity by Matai. Benjamin Matai from the Wandsworth Demons in London. He's going to send this one on the way. Is that lucky number 13 for Lecoq? It absolutely is, and he has kicked his second. 13-6-84 for France. 8 points for Colombia. That's on the strength of 1-2-8. 4 double goal kickers now for Lecoq. It is as Matai joins Doku, Boucher, and Lachelle, and this was off of one step and straight through the eye of the needle.
Certainly the impressive goal kicking by France is something that's been something to behold in this game. Seems like all of them can just kick it a long way. And here's Peter Holden on the boundary.
Thanks very much for that, David. Just for Colombia at the moment, Sergio Torres getting a bit of work done on his left arm.
Thank you so much. Hey, Sergio Torres is a great soccer name.
It is, for sure. So splashing around, you can see the ball on the ground, lots of splashing around. It is wet conditions here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park.
And I laugh because unlike Subaru Park down in Philly, we have nobody with squeegees. And the ball's up on the near side as this one gets handballed on. And it comes up. Going to go pick that one up. Handballs it around. Going to be send this one off the boot. Goes into the wing. Going to get sent back from which it came. Colombia has numbers around the football. Pick that one up out of a puddle. Trying to find, big tackle in there by Doku. And the umpire said he had no prior opportunity. We're going to go one more time down to Peter Holden on the boundary line.
Yeah, just bringing in Sergio Torres of Colombia, getting a bit of work done his left calf.
Thank you so much. As the ball goes back in here once again, as Marine knocks it down, but not to advantage. Picked up by Tabiu. Now going to go send back the other way. Going to get picked up. He was planted in the grass, then threw down Thierry, threw down a second player as well. But it was a throw and getting tangled up there, but nothing in it was Lang and Palacios, and it will be a free kick on the wing position in front of the There Live commentary position.
Lang kicks down the line, and there's a nice mark there. A bit of bumping after the mark, and that will be a 50-meter penalty. So that's number 23, Marco Pinto. One of my favorite names of the tournament. Be a good wrestling name. Been asked for a wrestling reference.
And
he's Marco Pinto would be a great announcement.
And he's been on the beans here today.
Oh, here we go. Brian Barish.
See, now that I'm a dad,
Barry.
I can tell these jokes as dad jokes, and they're not just lame. They're cute.
They're still lame. Anyway, Marco Pinto goes up for the kick. And that's another nice kick and another goal. Wow, they just kicked them all straight. And that is their 14th goal in this game.
14-6-90 on the Payable app scoreboard. Colombia 1-2-8. The tournament high in this game is 149 by Ireland over this Colombia team. Pinto striding forward. Looked like it was going to come off left off the boot, but just squeezed inside the goalpost. And not much of a win to speak of. The flags over there, the 6 competing countries look pretty flaccid. And a little bit of a
waterlogged.
wind. And waterlogged. Yeah, I was going to say that might take a pretty stiff breeze to...
also, for the record, a joke can be both lame and funny.
Yeah, that's true.
Bouncing around the...
soaking a horse, but you know.
Here's a kick, and that will be out on the full. So that will be a free kick to France. As it's been all France in this third quarter. They're going to kick towards the middle, and that's marked at the 50-meter arc. This is Thierry. There, it's kicked just outside the goal square. And can he pick it up? He can't. Defending is number 20, Rosales. Can they clear it out? They don't. On the ground, going after it is Thierry. Picked up by France. That handball doesn't go to its intended target. Batted forward by Colombia as they try to clear. A lot of defending here in this game for Colombia.
And most of it has been effective, although in spite of that 20 scoring shot, the 3 tally that you see in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, thanks to Payable Apps and there live, Colombia able to get this one out into the middle. They've had some room to run if they can, but they run into a brick wall, and it's going to be high contact. So a free kick now going the way. Somebody with a 6, that might be Zabala, who sends this one up high into the air. Good contest there off the hands of Bonhomme. Free kick for high contact, and here comes Colombia. Free kick should be going to Javier Sousa, who had that spectacular goal. Tell you what, 15 goals in this game. We've seen a lot of good highlight reel opportunities. Oh, big shove in the back. And that was Alejandro Marin who got pushed in the back. And it will be a free kick. So here is Marin. He is a tall, lanky, he was going to say, he's very tall, and as Lucy Van Pelt would say, he's about as thin as a promise. He's
only 20, youngest player on Colombia.
And
see, he'll kick towards goal here. He has a pretty big boot from what I've seen.
Towards the Visit Mississauga end, and I'll tell you what, AFL clubs and the state level might want to keep an eye on that young man, give him an opportunity. Everybody goes flying, and it's punched through for a minor score. First score of this third quarter for Los Jaguares. They got a 1-3-9, trailing by 81 points. France 14-6-9. I'm Brian Barish, by the way, alongside David Smith. Peter Holden down on the boundary line for you, dodging the raindrops as we continue with this 5th place game. Of course, we have a whistle, and this one is going to come all the way back.
One of the 2 Can-Am connections we'll have in commentary today. You'll be with Patrick McNeil during the semifinal between Canada and the U.S. So this is going to be a free kick to Colombia.
And I think what's happened here is this was an infraction on the this was an infraction off the kick-in. And so this will be a free kick, and I believe this is Sousa again. In fact, no, I think this might be Jose Leon. We'll park the peepers on it. And he will have a kick. Not much of an angle to speak of. It's 35 meters out. Strides forward. The kick is up on the way. It's tailing right, and it goes through for another behind. So Colombia knocking on heaven's door, but St. Peter not letting them in. Back to 80 points with 6 to play in the third term. France 14-6-90. Colombia 1-4-10.
Colombia does get to double digits, but still an 80-point deficit to France. Rain appears to have lessened here, but the ground is soaking wet. A kick towards Colombia forward 50. Picked up, I think, by Sousa, and he's tackled right away. Umpire will whistle, say it's mine, a ball up, and indeed that was Sousa from the Fitzroy Stars. He has a sports degree, practices judo and karate. So,
no, all right, that explains the goal. That explains that a magnificent goal that we saw, and go back and watch that because that was definitely a Payable Apps goal, the tournament nominee. And here is Roar, who sends us one up the far side. Going to get taken down, try to spinning away and getting about 3 inches of Humber College turf in the process. Sending this one high up in the air, and the ball will bounce. It'll skip. It'll hop. A miniature lake has formed over there, as you can see. We might have to give that a lake. I think Pete has done such yeoman work. We might need to call that Lake Holden as the ball is taken down. And it will come back.
Hopefully no one kicks it in that direction. Somebody will have to go swimming to go get the ball. How's your backstroke?
Waiter, what's this fly doing in my soup? The backstroke, because this one is going to be played on quickly. Oh, good spoil there. Coming out of nowhere was Bonhomme, but it's going to get sent back into the 50-meter arc. Going to get off of hands, and the ball will go out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw in. Let's head down to the aforementioned Peter Holden.
Thank you very much. Since you called it Lake Holden on the other side of the ground, she said they've been trying to shoot away the ducks. They've been unsuccessful, counting 5 ducks over there at the moment. And if you can't picture that, think of the English cricket team top order.
that was Australian amateur cricket player Peter Holden. Listen, they didn't beat the Americans, so I can't talk as the ball goes out the far side, and the ball is marked there by Bonhomme. As we saw that play once again, Bonhomme decided to take a bounce. Not the best decision he'll have
not
today.
the easiest conditions to do
Not at all.
at the moment.
One-on-one contest, as that was Lachelle against Chia, who won out there only momentarily. Going to get banged inside 50, almost taken down, and then picking that one up off a step, but skidding off the side was Timothy Lang, and the ball just lands in the field of play. No, I think it went out of bounds first. It did. Now the question is, as umpire Daniel Estes will confer with the umpire, the question is, did it hit the post first before it hit the ground? And the answer is it did hit it first, and it will be a free kick to Colombia. So the behind posts there essentially are the same as the boundary lines. If it makes contact with it, it's out of bounds, and then it's just a matter of whether or not it hit the ground first, or whether or not it went out of, whether or not it hit it on the fly. That's the difference between a throw-in and a free kick. Big tackle, ball cried. The crowd, yeah, they're going to get it. Good tackle put in there. You know what? Forget the scoreline for a minute. Colombia is doing some really good things, Dave.
Absolutely. I mean, the spirit's been here all tournament. It's just experience and certainly some skills that will have to improve for them to start getting some wins in international footy. But, it's going to come. It's going to come. They have certainly somebody good in Josh Kennedy in charge of their program. So full marks to them in this tournament. And so it's at midfield. It's a free kick to France. And I believe it's...
That was Vidal who has gotten up and is limping away. And this is Richard, who will now send this one in short and finding Lefebvre. I was just going to say, it's interesting to see how every once in a while you see either a current AFL player, sometimes a retired AFL player, kind of in those international circles. It's great for the game. Good mark taken in there by Aurelien Aubert. Can't miss him. And Aubert,
his head is fully bandaged up, but it didn't affect him there as he gets the mark.
Can he be France's 10th goal kicker with 90 seconds to go? He lines up. He's another guy, just these long strides. The kick is up on the way. It's low and slow like a good pot of chili, but, well, I was going to say, it's like gas station chili. Looks pretty good, but not great in the end. And Aurelien Aubert has put through the 91st point for France.
Never had gas station chili, for the record. I guess that's not something I should try.
I was going to say, consider yourself lucky, as we're back in the middle of the ground. I mean, it looked good, but a little bit of just get away from me. Nothing too much into it.
I'm more of a gas station hot dog type guy.
Oh yeah, me too. As the ball gets kicked off the ground. We've been stocking up on Canadian chips while we've been up here. We don't get all dressed down south of the border.
I thought maybe it would be ketchup, but it's all
we got that too. Don't worry. We got the double ketchup there. Oh, look at this. Handball over nicely. Looking once again for Sousa. Sousa's got it back. He runs on. He's going to send this one. Does he have a target? He doesn't, but it's 2-on-2. Off the foot there of Bouillet. And now picking that one up. Could have been a throw, wasn't. Going to play this one in front. Great smother out the back by Ducou. And it's through for a behind, and Clement Ducou, who has been up in the forward line kicking goals, has come back and rushed through a behind. Watch Payable scoreboard. It's or Payable app scoreboard as my 2 leagues have crossed. 14-7-91 to Colombia 1-5-11. And that will do it for the third term. 3/4 time here at Humber College. Colonel Sam Smith Park, the score. It's the France Roosters, Le Coq, 14-7-91. The Jaguars of Colombia, 1-5-11. Colombia, again, I think by and large, the pattern has continued. France picking apart holes in the Colombian defense, but Colombia getting their chances and coming very close. They didn't score any goals in this third term, but they're only behind. They've got 6 scoring shots, which is about what they had in the first encounter between the sides.
Passages of play that look good for Colombia, but they just can't sustain it. There's moments where experience not there. They're not in the right positions. They don't make the right decisions. And France is an experienced enough a lineup that they're certainly going to make them pay, and they have certainly in this game. But again, full marks to Colombia. They're here. They're in the contest. And let's see if they can improve as they go into the fourth quarter.
Javier Sousa, the only goal kicker for Colombia. For France, it's Doku, Mate, Boucher, Pinto, Lachelle, each have 2. Ribeiro, Boscart, Modi, and Bonhomme. And very quickly, before we go into the break, give me 10 seconds. Who do you think, because we're looking at France, who for Power MVP, who are you looking at?
Oh, I mean, there's Boucher, there's Decoux. Certainly have liked Thomas Lachelle. The big man has been a factor, and certainly Colombia's had trouble handling him in this game.
Yeah, I think it would either be Boucher or Lachelle for mine. Still one more quarter to play, however. We'll bring you that fourth quarter thanks to There Live when we return for the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup from Toronto, thanks to Payable Apps.
Australian football is in Canada. Fast. Tough. Spectacular. Fun. Join AFL Canada. Visit aflcanada.com.
Footy fans, you need to know about AFL Canada Shop. AFL Canada Shop has great items, whether you are a player, a coach, an umpire, a fan of Team Canada, or helping to grow this great game. Plus, AFL Canada Shop sells the highest quality Australian footballs at the best price anywhere. And we ship everywhere in the footy world. So visit AFL Canada Shop today at aflcanadashop.ca.
Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on, link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
Back here for the fourth and final quarter of this fifth place game of the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup Men's Division. France leading Colombia 91-7. Very quickly to the boundary line. Peter, what's the weather like out there?
Well, first of all, a little bit of teeming rain is starting to come down again. As we said, it's been very much on and off. It will continue through until 1 o'clock. Just had to listen over Josh Kennedy and the huddle there for the Colombians. Really happy with the work rate. Obviously, the scoreboard is not in their favour, but it's all about work rate. Just keep working at it, work with your teammates. Over on the French side of things with Jason Quinn, pretty much, again, positive reinforcement. They're very happy with how they've controlled this game. They say, let's keep the same standard up all the way through the final siren.
Thanks, Pete. And, I think both teams, are going to end up taking some positives. And listen, in a game like this where, again, not going to have an effect for the overall championship. And, again, France, as we've mentioned a couple of times, not making it through to the semifinal, bit disappointing. But you've come all the way over here. Obviously, you want to come over here and win. And, of course, Les Gaulois are enjoying this as well. They are not bothered by this weather one iota. They are cheering on their side, and we'll try and cheer them home to a victory in the fourth quarter. Here's David Smith to take us away for the final 20 minutes.
Ball on the ground in a wet Colonel Samuel Smith Park. Here's a ball up. We're early here in the fourth quarter. 80-point lead for France. Ball picked up. That ball won't go very far. Her side of the ground, picked up by Lang. Going towards them, visit Mississauga, and that will be holding the ball, and a free kick to France. So they'll get another kick at goal. Looks like this is Lachelle again. We know he can boot it along. Oh, sorry. It's Ribeiro. The two big men, I confused them there. Ribeiro. I believe he has a pretty big boot, so let's see if he kicks for goal, or he'll try to find a target. He kicks for goal. It is looking like it stays left, and that will be a behind for France.
14-8-92 on the Payable Apps scoreboard. Ribeiro from the Antony Blues. We mentioned he's a poker player from Cergy, 29 years of age, and 50 downfield as the player came over the mark. Now, if you watched AFL, this is a rule that's changed in the last 5 years, David. It used to be that the player had to kick the ball, the fullback had to kick the ball while he was inside the goal square. And it was about, I think you got 10 meters or so of room. What they've done over the last couple of years to allow the play to come out a little bit more and open things up is allow the player, now you don't have to kick the ball. As soon as you come out, you're fair game and it's play on. But they put that line there that you can see about 30 meters out to get that. And here's a chance for goal. There's another one! Oh my goodness!
Javier Sousa!
That's 2 golazos! Oh my goodness! Javier Sousa! A little salute to the friends and family back home, and that may be a Payable Apps goal of the tournament. Once again, the soccer still's coming in. My goodness gracious. He put that one home from halfway out near the behind post, and Colombia gets their second of the game. They got a 2-5-17, France 4-8-92. And listen, if you wanted to give the quality of goals, if you wanted to give extra efforts, they would be down by a lot less. But a great job by Sousa. My goodness.
Certainly a big reaction from his teammates. They're behind, but they still got the spirit in this one. What a goal by Sousa.
I'll tell you what, I sounded like a 13-year-old for a minute.
Well, you know, when you see quality like that, that'll bring out the kid in you, won't it? And free kick to Colombia. So Colombia is starting to get a little bit of flow here in the fourth quarter as the rain starts coming down harder again. It's been that sort of day.
To quote one of the YouTube comments, Javier, you bloody beauty. Going out the far side.
That was a beauty for sure.
That's Arias who has the football, now turning around with it, going into the middle of the ground. Well, that was a good early goal, maybe setting the pace here. The rain picking up once again. And David and I were talking in the commercial that, you know, considering how bad the conditions are right now, France is actually, both teams have tend to cope with it pretty well. I mean, not all the kicks have come off because some of them have kind of skidded across the boot as Corrales sends this one up high. And good sliding mark. That was Rosales, who will play on. Payable Apps mark of the tournament nominee, centering ball. I don't know if he intended to do that, but the ball got knocked down. Going to get sent back the other way. Sends this one in towards the sticks. Back to get it and then punching that one through. Ball goes out of bounds in front of Sousa, who is looming, the vice captain. And we'll have a boundary throw in 4 minutes into this final term. And here this is again. Once again, a Payable Apps mark of the tournament possibility.
That mark like he was sliding in a slip and slide.
Yeah, I was going to say, they might actually, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the fifth game, you know, France will be out here doing that. They might do that after this game with the way that they're going, as that one goes through the wickets there of Mate, and then going to get picked up. Whoop, fell away over T, and that one was Bejarano who went after the football. Going to get picked up. Colombia on the front foot here in this fourth term, and that's good to see. And we'll have a ball up as we head down to the boundary line, and Peter Holden.
Thank you very much, Brian. The rain starting the team down once again. I do have an umpire injury update. Those may recall yesterday's game between Canada and USA in the women's semi-final. Di Fyland went off at three-quarter time and did not return to the game. It was more an injury precaution measure. She had been carrying an injury coming into the tournament, but she tells me she's right to do 3 more games for the remainder of the tournament.
That's awesome. Di Fyland, nicknamed Coyote, 1,700 games in a number of different leagues. There was sliding in. Now they're just having fun with it as Aurelien Albert slid in, and they've got a free kick of this, France. You know what? When you're involved in a game that is a 75-point difference, you just got to have fun with it when it's...
really shows the conditions out there right now, though. Basquer, long high kick to a bunch of players. That's off Colombian hands. Kick towards goal, and that goes left. Will be another behind for France. And that was off the kick of Pierre Lachelle, number 22. Colombia tries to clear out of their defensive end of the ground. Kick towards, can't pick it up. And that will be a free kick to Colombia. So that will relieve some pressure for Colombia. And
Going to be a free kick.
Yep.
And no play on quickly. Here is Brian Cerna, who plays it down the middle of the ground. 76-point lead for France as they have the football. And there's some of our Seagull friends flying around. Crepin has been largely quiet, although he's been in the back line, so he hasn't been as prominent. The ball goes out of bounds in front of Pierre Lachelle.
And in front of Lake Holden.
In front of Lake Holden. And Lake Ontario, as this is, by the way, we talk about some of our connections. That's Chet Ridenour, founder of the Columbus Jackaroos of the USAFL. They're called by something else, but he is a true blue Jackaroo. And, oh, nice mark. Nice mark over the back there by Bouillet. Jean-Baptiste Bouillet will send this one down right into the breadbasket, however, of Rosales, who sends this one back down the middle of the ground. There's that man, Souza. He's going to run on. He makes one man miss, throws it around the body, but Richard says, "Nope, I'm sorry. You've overspent your airmail there. You've overspent your brownie points or your super points, whatever you want to call it. Pushing it back is called, and France will come back the other way." I'll tell you what.
Full marks, by the way, to everybody, but also to those spectators over there who are watching this game full in the rain. So not as many spectators here today, but of course because of the rain, unless you count the Seagulls. But
which we do. That is the French women's team, Les Gauloises, who are up there cheering on their team. That's going to bounce in front, going to get behind. They're going to try and clear this one out clearly once again. Throw this one on to the left across the face and through for a behind off the foot of Pio Rohr, and that is the 10th behind of the game for France. They go on a 14-10-94.
I wonder if any of those Seagulls took out the Tasmanian Devils initial membership. Paid the $10.
No wonder there are so many of them. Rohr, by the way, as the kick-in comes in, just tell you a little bit something about him. He plays for the Bordeaux Bombers from Bordeaux and also plays rugby sevens. And he is going to get the ball back, I believe.
Marked by Modet. So
there's a lot of guys with fading hairlines there.
I resemble that remark.
I'm saying
there. Well, yes, but...
yeah, I know.
Actually, mine's not fading. It's just totally gone at this point. Anyway, the rain really teeming down here. We have just over 11 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. This is Decoux. That goes left, and we'll be behind for France.
And we head down to the boundary line real quickly in just a second. 14-11-95 to 2-5-17. Peter Holden, come in.
Yeah, just for those that have obviously been playing the game and learning the game outside of Australia, in these type of conditions, we were back home in Australia, a suburban or country football venue, you would actually be able to park your car around the ground. In fact, many grounds are designed with having a car park, say, almost like 240 degrees around the ground. So you could, because we play a winter sport, you can sit in your car, sit with the carpet, the heater on, and watch the game while the players have to put up with the wetness.
Well, the funny thing is we've got a car park directly behind us, but they're coming through and tagging them on the way through. So because school is still in session here at Humber College, and of course our thanks to them for hosting our tournament here, as well as the good folks at the AFL and AFL Canada, and of course They're Live for bringing you these pictures around the world. One-on-one contest is Franco going up against Thierry and sending this one into the middle of the ground. They get knocked away as the rain picks up a little bit harder, and it's going to be like this for some time today, which is going to affect all the games. So skills are going to become very important, and maybe a little bit of lady luck as this one is taken down. This is Bejarano, who turns around with it, gives a curly Q kick out to the wing position, right in front of our They're Live position. Throwing that one away, there was Daniel Sierra, who was taken down, and he was caught. And it will be a free kick going to France. Reminder, at 11:45 Eastern Time, first semifinal between Great Britain and Ireland, and then the second semifinal between the USA and Canada at 2 p.m. Ireland and the U.S. won the semifinals in the women's division yesterday. Free kick upcoming, and it will be to Decoux. And, of course, that game will be seen right here. And, in fact, they're going to give it to one of the big guys. In fact, it is going to be Lachelle. Lachelle has 2. And Ireland.
See what his boot can do. And it is teaming out there.
It really is. I'm glad we're in this 10 as the kick is up on the way. It is through for a behind. It looked good coming off the boot. It was like one of Aunt Becky's cookies. Looked good coming out of the oven, but crumbled into a big old wet mess at the end.
Good kick, though. Good low kick in these conditions. It was the right type of kick, but a little bit offline, and it goes for a behind.
I don't think France, in their history, have kicked more than 100 points. We'll have to check that in just a moment. The ball is up on the far side, David.
It is a free kick here for France, so they're going to go towards their forward 50. Driving rain conditions here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park, but what a nice mark. Again, a great mark in the conditions. Low kick towards the pocket. There's a tackle by number 9, Bosquet. Ball on the ground. There's a good bump. That's a high contact, and believe that will be a free kick to Bobet. Bobet, probably 2, maybe Mendras.
It's okay. Move away, please. One step, please.
Far side of the field. Rainy conditions here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park. We're approaching 7.5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. As here's the kick. It looks left, and it stays left, and that will be another behind for the Roosters.
France cannot bring up triple digits, and like I said, we're just kind of paging through here to see. This is only their 4th major tournament. They played in the 2011 AFL International Cup. That was their debut. They finished 10th of the 10 teams in Division 1 back in 2017, going 0-5, and turning around again as Rosales, who is moved into the back line once again, as this one is taken down on the near side with his right foot halfway up a puddle. Going to get sent this one back in by Boucher, and a nice sliding mark. Seeing a lot of those. This is Nicola Boucher, who will send this one on a little weighted kick, and now they're just saying, look, you got to call slide before you take that. Why not? Off the foot of Boscart, and that one bounces free out to the near side as you see it once again. That's what they're doing. They're taking advantage of these conditions. The game is well and truly gone, has been for some time. And out to the near side, going and finding Lefebvre. Now out the back, looks to the near side. The Seagulls have taken up a residence again on the wing position. Going to get thrown in there once again was Boubet, and then a whistle and a free kick. And Colombia will claim it. And so too will Daniel Rosales, who has it in front of their live commentary position in front of yours truly, Brian Barish, and David Smith.
As Captain Rosales kicked towards just inside the 54 arc for Colombia. Picked up there. There's a kick by 91 Orozco. Here's the boundary to Peter Holden.
Yeah, thank you very much. Injury update for the Colombian Jaguares. Oscar Marin at the moment, icing up just above his left elbow.
Thank you, Peter. Boundary throw in the pocket. Forward end for Colombia. Orlando Marine gets his hand on it. Sorry, that was Daniel Rosales. And there will be a ball up here in the pocket of the Colombian scoring end. We have just over 5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Colombia seeing if they can get their 3rd goal in the game. Cleared out by Colombia and to the midfield. That's bouncing. The Colombian player doesn't pick it up. It does on the second try. No mark there. Oh, there's a bit of a collision. Goes down was Nicola Boucher. And play continues on. He looks like he's okay. Lots of players around the ball. And here's Brian.
Up on the far side now. Going to get taking this one inside the 50-meter arc, and it's going to get picked off once again by Juan Zabala. Was able to find an answer to the question. The most points by France in an international tournament is on August 17th of 2011 at Blacktown in Sydney when they defeated Timor-Leste 122-13. So neither record looks to be in danger at the moment, but a good effort really by both teams. And as we said on the scoreboard, it's going to be reflected, not as reflected as much, and he's looking to disturb those seagulls. There they go, and they fly away. And it is not a space-age love song for Colombia who, in the rain. Really not for anybody, but Boscart's going to pick this one up behind Torres, who was taken down the play. He was banged up a little bit earlier today. And then Lachelle going in and sending Bejarano flying. And a free kick has been picked out. And it will be dead in front. And I believe this will be Ribeyrol, who only has one. He's come close to the second. Can he put France over the 100-point mark? Would only be the third time that would happen. They scored 110 against Indonesia in 2014, and he slots that one through for a behind. Oh, no. Yep, for a behind. So, Payable app scoreboard, France 14-14-98. Colombia 2-5-17, and these two teams will have one final game. France will play the loser of Great Britain and Ireland, and Colombia will play the loser of the USA-Canada match. And that game, the Colombia will play on Sunday as a curtain raiser to the grand finals. And poor old France is going to have to come back tomorrow against the loser of tomorrow's game. And the one-day break has been a bit of an extra challenge in between games for these sides, and they're going to have to come back on no rest at all. Peter holding on the boundary?
Yes, thank you. Nicola Beauchet just momentarily went over to the trainers tent to get checked out. I think they were checking his neck for a bit of whiplash. He's been given the all clear to come back on.
Here's a kick by Colombia, but there's a intercept mark by the defense of France. High kick. That's picked up by Boubet. And a quick tackle, and that will be a free kick to Colombia, I believe. And yes, it will. This will be number 8, Sergio Torres. Probably too far to score, as we're approaching 90 seconds left in this game. France leads 98-17. Torres from the Bogota Bulldogs. Here's a kick to the middle, and picked up. Can Colombia? Ball bouncing around. Quick kick towards goal. It goes left and a behind for Colombia.
And I think that may have been Sousa again. Nope, it was off the foot of Daniel Sierra. 2-6-18, 80 points the difference. This is Colombia's highest ever score. And again, for Josh Kennedy and crew, they think they made the most of this. They've had fun. I think there are a lot of little things they can take, as here is Thomas Lachelle, who has the football in the wing position commentary side. In fact, he's given away a free kick to Sierra, and he handballs it off to Vidal. 30 seconds to go. Bounces in front. Let it get taken down there, and we'll have a ball up. And we talked about the conditions. I think it was partly the conditions deteriorating a little bit more, and also just really just the toll of the conditions and the toll of playing in these conditions over the course of 80 minutes. And that's because it looked for sure like France was going to kick over 100 points. They still might. They got to get it down quickly and in a hurry. The mark is taken up on the far side, Bodoku, and there's the siren. Full time, and France has won this 5th place game of the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup. It's a wire-to-wire victory. But the winner today is football, because Colombia came in, and as they have in all 4 games they've played so far, have acquitted themselves well. The final score on the Payable app scoreboard: France 14 goals, 14 behinds, 98 points. Colombia 2-6-18. And I think positives from both teams. I mean, this is a consolation game. You have to look at the positives.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, France goes 3-1 on the tournament. They've certainly had a lot of positives from that way. And Colombia, as we've talked about, this is a learning experience for the program. These players are new, some very new to the game likely, but certainly new to international footy. They'll learn from it. They'll learn what works, what doesn't. And hopefully the program will continue to grow from here.
And this is one of these cases where, you know, the old saying, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. It took me a second to remember that as we look at some of these fantastic goals. There was a lot of really good ones to pick out for Le Coq de la France. There's this one off the foot of Doku, one of his two, just squaring up and slotting that one home. And then there is Boucher, who had a couple of good ones for Le Coq as well. And then Bonhomme, who had his one, and this one was kicked that one from about 55 meters out. Wasn't the longest goal of the day. How about this mark over the back there by Doku, who ran on to play for his second. And that's the thing, is that, yeah, it was a one-sided scoreline, but some of these goals were fantastic. As we looked at this last one here, you're going to see Sosa with, arguably for my money, the goal of the tournament. And then one last one from dead in front from Lachelle. We're going to head down to the boundary line. Peter Holden has our Powerwood game MVP, custom cedar supplies done right. Peter, who you got with you?
Big Toto. Thank you. It was a good game.
Yeah, so let's talk about this game. Different conditions to play with. How tricky has it been with the surface water?
Yeah, it's really sweepy. Not easy to grab the ball, but we did well. We fight pretty well. Colombian did as well. It was a really close game.
Can you talk about the improvement in French football as well, coming from a few years ago, building up a side that, it didn't win a game of the International Cup to now, so far 3 wins out of this tournament?
Yeah, we have a good progression. It's a good improvement from the IC17, where it wasn't easy. And to keep improving, maybe one day be the first in this kind of tournament.
And finally, just before we let you go, what have you thought about the Colombian side? You've faced them 2 times so far. Of course, they're making their debut in this tournament.
They improved a lot from the first game. They did well. They're just pretty young. They have to keep playing footy and keep progressing.
Thomas, thank you very much, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you, thank you.
Thomas Lachelle, your Powerwood MVP, custom cedar supplies done right. They are cedar suppliers based in Western Canada. Well, we're going to put a bow on this one because we've got 2 cracking matches coming up. Of course, the first semi-final between Ireland and Great Britain. That is to determine the winner of Pool B, and then the winner of that will play the winner of the USA and Canada, which is at 2 p.m. Once again, repeating the final score in the 5th place game, France 14-14-98, Colombia 2-6-18. For David Smith, Peter Holden, for Pat McNeil working the board, for Adam and Nathan and everyone else who's brought to you today's game from Toronto, this is Brian Barish. We'll see you in a couple of minutes' time.